That was a good commercial, bro. That whole sequence of commercials was so good.
They don't
It
really
was
make.
so
I
good.
guess it's the attention span of the viewer. Like they don't really things aren't really geared for television anymore. So I guess that's why people
Yeah.
don't mess with it. But
Yeah. Now all the commercials and ads we see, we forced to see them. Like we don't have a choice.
yeah,
Because honestly, if I'm paying 30 for Netflix, 10, 15 for Hulu, 10, 15 for HBO Max, you
how
damn right
much
I
is
want to see them
Netflix
commercials.
now?
22.99.
I got the family plan. I got the family
I was
plan.
like, I'm finna go get cable, bro.
It's other people on my plan, bro. It's other people on my plan. You know what I mean?
I'm finna go get
Netflix, if y'all
cable.
watching this, we are legally sharing passwords. Don't shut me down. Don't shut me down. You know what I mean? I know I'm gonna post a couple people from y'all company to some startups, but don't shut me down. I promise. I'm on the up and up here. We on the up and up. But folks, we're doing something new on Facts Over Acts. Okay, we are bringing y'all something fresh. We are bringing you something brand new. We are the People's Podcast. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we put our money where our mouth is. We're going to help the people get paid. If you listen to Facts Over Acts, if you can hear the sound of my voice right now, we trying to get you paid. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start off every episode with the three of us giving life advice. Yes, I know. And I mean, it's us three. It is us, right? That Chris, the supervillain, Josh, the middle ground, and me, the angel that's on Josh's shoulder, telling him, please stop listening to Chris. We are going to give you advice on whatever you need, on whatever you want to hear advice about. But here's how we're going to do it, and here's how we want to get you paid. If you are subscribed and you enter a question, all we will do, if it's a valid question, a valid something that you need advice on, something like that, we will add $1 to your bank. If we use it on air, we gonna throw an extra dollar on there. We're still debating on how that part of the system works, but we know for a fact you submit a quality question and you are sub, you will get $1 for that one question in your bank per se. We'll be sending it out at the end of the month, making sure everybody gets paid. Now here's how we're gonna do this. Every episode we're starting off talking about that. And if you want to give us places we can go for advice, right? That's great too. Today we're starting off with Reddit, the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? We're going to be moving into some other things. We might do 6 brown chicks. We may stay in Am I the Asshole? We may go to some other subreddits. We don't know, but that's what we're doing. Y'all boys ready to get into it?
Ready for it?
Yes, sir.
What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the People's Podcasting crew. We got the master of the mix and master, Josh Guyton, in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man with the plan, Chris Allen, in the building.
Right here.
And then you got the little old MC, that's me, Ken Gibbs. And trust me, folks, we are not stopping talking about sports. That's still going to come in the back end of this thing. We still got to talk some Patty Mahomes against Mr. Irrelevant. We still got to talk Lamar having as many MVPs as playoff wins. We still got to talk about the trade deadline and God's doing miracles with the Pistons. Thank God Killian Hayes ain't here no more. We got to talk about all that and more on today's episode. But we're going to start with the advice. So here we go, fellas. Y'all ready?
Ready for it?
All right. Am I the asshole for wanting to stop helping my wife's parents after finding out they're supporting her brother? I, 35 male, have been married to my 32-year-old wife for 7 years, and we have a 4-year-old son. My wife used to work at a marketing company, but she quit 2 years ago because the environment was too toxic, and she was suffering from anxiety and depression. Since then, she's been staying at home, taking care of our child, and doing some freelance work from time to time. I don't mind this. I have a good job as an engineer and can support our family. The problem is that my wife's family is going through a financial crisis. Her parents are elderly and don't have a good retirement plan. Her sister came out of a complicated divorce and can't help them much. I've always had a good relationship with my wife's family and financially support her parents. I help with rent and bills like water and electricity. But recently, it bothered me to find out that they are also supporting her brother. He is a 34-year-old and addicted to drugs and alcohol. He has also been arrested several times for theft. He's a parasite who only knows how to exploit others. I had a major disagreement with him 6 years ago when he tried to get my wife to lend him money and I didn't allow it. He was persistent and I had to threaten him to stop. I found out through her sister that he has moved back in with them the past few weeks. I refused to support a burden. I could hardly believe they were keeping and wasting money on that bum. Calling a grown man a bum is crazy, but just.
But he a bum.
I told them they were being disrespectful to me, that I was making a huge effort to help them, They were upset and made the excuse that they can't abandon family. When I talked to my wife about stopping financial assistance to them, she was conflicted. She said she understood my side and that she also didn't like her brother, but she said she didn't want me to cut off their financial support because she didn't want to cause them stress. I intend to move forward and stop anyway until they reconsider and stop enabling him. Would I be wrong to do that?
Y'all want me to go first?
I mean, listen, whoever want to take it first can take it. I'm just leaving it out there.
If this person is an asshole, then I'm an asshole.
Oh, okay. Chris, what you got?
You were still muted.
I was just about to say, you sound gone, player. You sound gone.
Super asshole. I mean, it's just that's the nature of the game. I mean, I think so.
Boy,
You think they are?
I gotta be this guy. Here's the thing. So you think that they're an asshole for stopping the help, or what would you do?
So here's the thing, right? When it comes to people, family, business, and family needs, that ain't your place. That's what I always will believe, right? When it comes to them supporting somebody that's on drugs and alcohol, they ain't got nothing to do with me, right? You choosing to help the family, that's where it stops. It's not where you choosing who the family help, right? So he's overstepping his line to me, so that makes him an asshole in that regard, right? Like for me, if I help somebody out, right, and they helping they brother or whatever, that's me choosing to help them so they can help their brother. They ain't got nothing to do with me what they do with the help. They ain't got nothing to do with me.
Hey, Josh, write that down, man. This is the first time in Facts Over Facts history. This is the first time. Let me tell you something. I 1,000% agree with Chris. At the end of the day, if the financial stress is like, hey, the parents are like, they're going to be homeless. Like, they're going to be down bad if you don't help. Them supporting the brother who's suffering from addiction, that's not your place. Like, do what you can and at the agreed rate that you would and that you're comfortable with. Now, if they ask for extra because bro is there, like, oh.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line at, right?
Okay.
You know, Johnny's here and Johnny's a grown man. He needs to eat. He's not eating the money. He's sniffing it, babes. He's sniffing the money. I'm not paying for him to put that money on a hot spoon. I'm sorry to tell you. He's putting the money in a glass pipe, beloved. I'm not paying for that. But I will help y'all out. And trust me, anybody who knows me knows that family help has put me in some shaky spots in my lifetime. But family is family.
That's why 2024 gives us here, though, man.
Absolutely.
2024 gives us here. Yeah.
We live and we learn, baby. We live and we learn. And now, our second and final of the day. Am I the asshole for asking my significant other to stop demeaning white people? I am a white male in a relationship with a Mexican female. From time to time throughout our relationship, phrases such as white people ruin everything or white men are trash have come up with varying degrees of seriousness behind their intent. One morning, I was trying to be charitably productive and she said, white people ruin everything, regarding an event at the Mexican Art Museum that was sold out by gentrifiers. And it just completely took the wind out of my sails. I explained to her that while some white people in some places at some times have done terrible things, there are plenty of instances throughout human history showcasing how one group of people attempting to dominate another group of people will use literally any differentiating characteristics to divide and demean. All I am asking is that she stop saying racist, hateful stuff, just in general. She says that I'm taking away her right to express herself in her own space, and that this is egregiously bad, giving my white maleness. Of course, racist peons that hate white people and pretend like that's the only acceptable race to hate are unequivocally the motherfucking ops.
All right.
Tell me, what of this situation? Is he an asshole for asking out of his girlfriend?
Yes, he is in the larger picture because one, if you're going to date outside of your race, you know that's something that you're going to have to deal with, especially if you're a white man. And if you're a white man and that's something that you're not equipped to deal with, then you're a part of the problem. For example, that's like, I'm pretty sure all of us has dated a woman where they see a situation or they talking to their girl on the phone or they seeing something on social media and they like, men ain't shit. And in turn, your brain automatically goes to like, well, I'm a man. Stop bashing men.
Right.
If you were one of these white people that were part of the problem, one, y'all wouldn't be together. Two, if you don't see,
I disagree with that statement, but okay.
If you don't see how to differentiate yourself from a group of people who have, okay, so let me break it down for you like this. Let's say we were time travelers, right?
Right.
And let's say we traveled back in time in 50-year increments. So we went back 50 years, then another 50 years. Regardless of what time period we land in, white people are doing something terrible across like the planet, bro.
I think that worked both ways. We go 50 years in the future too. It probably still be something.
Probably.
Hey, listen, 1974, they was wildin', but the fits used to go crazy. Bring back bell bottoms, triple B's, bring bell bottoms back. We need them. But proceed.
So if you have a hard time differentiating yourself from the point that she made, yes, it may get old, but one, that's a problem that you're going to deal with if you're in an interracial relationship with somebody that's outspoken as it seems she may be.
Right.
So yes, you're the asshole because one, you understand that y'all be out here wilding. Mm-hmm. And two, you should have enough gall to be able to differentiate yourself from the point that she's trying to make. I've definitely been with a woman. I'm with a woman that's been having conversations with her friends and be like, you know what I'm saying? Men ain't shit or all men. You know what I'm saying? The dating pool got pissed in it or men did this and men did that.
You found me in the dating pool.
It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm cool.
Right. Okay. Chris, what you thinking?
I'm gonna have to be the I heard Josh, but F all that. I'm gonna say the other side. He's not an asshole. Okay, everything has limits, right? That's like when you wake up in the morning, right, and your old lady's saying, "I hate the way you get out the bed," right? You like, yeah, you get over it. You married me, whatever, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But after she said it 50 times, it's like, all right, bro, why are you with me then? Like. You literally are just pushing that button constantly. Like at some point you gotta be like, all right, let me calm it down. And I know that's weird coming from me because I'm an antagonist and I'm an aggravator. I'm all of the above, right? I know that's not weird coming from me. But at the end of the day, everything got its limit. And as I grow, I learned that, right? Everything has its limits, right? It's only so much people can take before they hit their breaking point. It's only so much people can withstand before they hit their breaking point.
But so it may have been an amalgamation of things getting to that point, but the reason that he was upset didn't make sense, Chris. Let's say you and your lady go out and y'all go into a Black History Month luncheon or something in your nice neighborhood. And you get there and the people that attended this event is 85% white. You wouldn't feel some type of way.
I would be happy about that. I would be
happy. I'll be kind of like, for example, I give you, before you go, Gibbs, we have an African American network at work, right? I am so excited when white people come to our African American network events. And let me tell you why. Even if they not there to support black people, they showed up. They made a presence be felt. They made it look like they was there. So, I mean, I'm fine with that.
To me, the biggest difference is if you go into an African American history museum as a white person, like you're going to like learn stuff because you're not gonna see fun stuff that makes you comfortable.
Yeah, true.
Like you're not.
That one that's in Detroit is rough, bro. Y'all went to the
the slave ship. Hey,
rough,
you take a
bro.
white guy to the slave ship, they gonna be like, all right, yeah, this was a little, yeah. Columbus and them was on some stuff.
Can I ask a question? What do people talk about on dates these days? What do they talk about? I'm so confused. How did you not know that this was your old lady before you made her your old lady?
That is fact. People don't date people who they like. I don't know how to explain it, bro.
I don't I genuinely, because like in the course of dating somebody and spending time around them, you hear certain things come out a lot.
Right.
Where you like, oh no. Like, for example, I had an ex that was very homophobic and transphobic. She was extremely homophobic and transphobic, but it was cool with me because at that time, I was a misogynist. I was all those things too. So it's like, all right, cool. We rocking out. Like, you know what I mean? But I knew that about her. None of that came as a surprise to me when she one day threw out a slur that like did not belong to her. I said, oh,
hey,
okay.
kids, It's like you threw me the oop. I'm about to dunk it like Blake Griffin. It's because they rush everything. They rush everything. They get into relationships the next day after a good talk over some dinner. You ain't did nothing with this person. You ain't did nothing with this person. You ain't been through nothing. You don't know their family. You don't know nothing.
You don't know their middle name.
You don't know nothing. Hey, you in love because y'all had a nice dinner and y'all went to Chili's. Hold on now.
Hey, no Chili's slander on the
no. Y'all know how I like Chili's. Y'all know how I get down with it. But what I'm saying is
egg rolls. Hey. Hold on.
Hey, them little bacon ranch quesadillas, boy.
The honey ranch quesadillas.
My point is though, Giz. You rush the process because y'all had a little fun at Chili's happy hour, and now you with somebody you don't even know.
You know, I'm gonna tell you this, right? A lot of times, like that does not work out, like 99% of the time. However, the 1% where it does is absolutely hilarious. Like,
well, no.
The couples in New York one, where old girl was walking with the dude, and she was like, they were like, how did y'all meet? She was like, we went out on a date, and I spent the night, and I just never left. I was like, what? They're married now? What? Like,
and the other ones that they got so much pride and spite that they trying to make it work. Yeah, they be miserable. They be so miserable. Like, I got this one couple that I know, right? They like one. The reason why I know him is because one of them used to be my mentor's, his homeboy, right? And when I used to go out to dinner with my mentor, he would tell me like how he's so miserable in his relationship, but he don't want to divorce her because his whole family preyed on their downfall. So he like, I don't want to give him the satisfaction, and he's just that type of guy. And I was just like, so you've been with her how long? 40 years they've been married, and he's been miserable for 40 of them. And he's just like, we sleep in separate rooms, we this, we that, but I'm not getting divorced.
40 years, the people that's been preying on your downfall, they can't be alive still. They can't be alive still.
They got married at 22. They got married at 22. To put it in context, so they not
put the generation above them, right? If they got married at 22,
let's say they had kids at 20.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know too many 82-year-olds, bro.
If an 82-year-old wants the satisfaction, good. I'm giving Mima her last wish before she go out. Congratulations.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm not about to be miserable just for some spite. Like, I'll get up out of there.
But I'm going to tell you what. That amount of spite, that dedication to hate, that's Super Bowl level dedications of hate right there. That's the level of hate that'll get us to the big game, and that'll get us some Lombardis, baby. But speaking of the Lombardi, we got to get into these sports. Fellas, it's the biggest Sunday of the year. Besides Easter in the black community, of course, because you know that everybody going to church. But
everybody get their Sunday best up.
Boy, put the Nolly Gators on, the lemon pepper stepping.
R.I.P. my grandma. I seen her ironing her hat one time. Grandma, I said, "Hat? What you ironing your hat for, Grandma? Come on, man."
Listen. What was your grandma's name?
Bretta.
Sister Bretta said you got to step.
That's baby. A grandma name.
It is. That's a grandma name.
You know, I feel sorry for the younger, like the generations under us, because they grandparents don't got grandparent names.
Nah, they don't. It'd be like,
I disagree.
My mama name is Tamika. That's not a grandma name, bro.
My mama got a grandma name. My mama name is Vonda.
Yeah, my mama is Vanessa. She got a grandma.
My grandma, she gonna hate me for saying this. Like, we called her Louise, but that was her middle name. Louise is a grandma name.
Louise is definitely.
But her real name was Murtis. That's a grandma name, bro.
Hey, y'all call her Louise because y'all couldn't say Murtis when y'all was learning how to talk. That's why y'all call her Louise.
Let me tell you something. You know what's even worse? The grandpa name's getting out of control too. Because back in the day, a solid Gus, you know he ain't.
Yeah, my granddad name was Jim.
He ain't gonna do nothing but stay home, take care of them kids, and maybe he gonna cheat once or twice, but it ain't gonna be nothing crazy. He ain't coming home to punch. Not Lakevius being your granddaddy is crazy. Lakevius as a granddaddy is wild. But anyway, we gotta get into this Super Bowl. Fellas. Who you got? Chiefs, Niners. What's going on? And I'm gonna start this one off real swift. I'm gonna be real swift about it, if you will. I think the Chiefs dominate this game. You know why? Because Brock Purdy does not belong. And last time we saw Pat Mahomes lose in the Super Bowl, It wasn't that Pat got beat. It was that his team as a whole got whooped so thoroughly, there was no hope for him regardless of how good he played, regardless of how well he played in that game. I don't think the 49ers are that far above the Chiefs in terms of the rest of the team outside the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the Chiefs DBs are going to have any off the heezies to Ayuk like the Lions did. So I think that they'll be just fine in this game. But fellas, take the floor.
So I'm gonna start with this. If you look at it from multiple aspects, if you look at the running game, I think that the Niners has the advantage. If you look at the offensive line, I think the Niners have the advantage. If you look at the receiving core outside of Travis Kelce, I think the Niners have the advantage. If you look at the defense as a whole, I think they're pretty even, but those superstar players on the side of the Niners ball give them the advantage in every other aspect of the field except quarterback. Mm-hmm. With that being said, I got the Chiefs winning by about 21. I can't.
21.
I can't bet against Pat Mahomes.
That's fair.
And we saw Brock Purdy in a dog fight against the inexperienced Lion team with that many weapons. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is making that same mistake, and I don't think that they made it this far through to Chiefs standards. This was a season where they struggled. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've made it this far for them to drop the ball to Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Patrick Mahomes has entered the Tom Brady-esque I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes category.
That's a little Mahomes-esque right there. That was a little Mahomes-esque take. Chris, what you got?
Patrick Mahomes. That's it. That's the tweet. That's
All
it.
right.
That's
All
it.
right.
My homeboy. Let me tell you why though. Let me tell you why.
Talk to us.
What's the best thing that Andy Reid got going for him, Gibbs?
I mean, obviously it's the quarterback, but if you talk about him as a play caller, he's extremely creative. He's
extremely creative.
Something from nothing.
And what does that do, Gibbs?
It stresses defenses out because you can never nail down like, oh, this is their tendencies, this is what they like, because they could throw a complete counter at it. Yep. Because that's just what Andy Reid does. He thinks of stuff like that.
And how did he beat the Ravens?
Well, that was just ball control. They went real slow and said,
hey, bingo. That's what I was gonna say. Bingo. Guyton pointed out they rushing attack, they receivers, they offensive line. Guess what? Andy Reid and my homeboy, none of them gonna see the field. They gonna be on the field. I don't care about Christian McCaffrey if he on the sideline. I don't care about the MVP if he on the sideline.
That's fair.
That's what the Chiefs do.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. That's the tweet.
So Josh got him winning by 21. Chris, how many you got him winning by?
I got him winning by 13. Around there. I feel like the Super Bowl, they the whistle get, a little bit cracked. Yeah. You know how that, it ain't rigged, but it's like everything but rigged. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm going to say this. I think that they win a close one because I think it's going to come down to can Purdy perform when he got money right in front of him? And the answer is no. We've seen this multiple times. Like, I don't know why people keep pretending like, oh, he's so special. He's so good. That's our special little boy, that Purdy.
And I will say, I will give Purdy credit. It takes a lot of talent as a second-year quarterback to make it this far in your first 2 years when there were no expectations on the line. But at the same time, there isn't any quarterback that I'm putting in an elite conversation where you're going out there with the best roster. Every starting quarterback, I fully believe that every starting quarterback in the NFL right now, if they were on that 49ers roster with those weapons, you would be able to swap any of them with Brock Purdy. I think if you swap Brock Purdy with at least half the starting quarterbacks, it wouldn't even be a conversation who was going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, yes. But I feel like Purdy never was the person that helped you win a game, though, with the 49ers case, right?
I'm sorry. I needed to look up something because I should have interjected there, but I need to look up something to make sure that I had this right. There's a young man by the name of James Richard Garoppolo who took this team to the Super Bowl, and that team didn't have Christian McCaffrey, nor did it have Chase Young. And you're telling me that you think that this team... Stop playing. What Brock Purdy has done is be an elite game manager. Now, could the average person off the street do that? No. But like you said, Josh, any other player could replace him and get to this level.
All right, listen.
So I think he's got enough to get them to the level, but get them over the hump and beat them at Mahomes, that moment is going to come. where he's
Hey.
staring down the barrel of Chris Jones. And then L'Jarius Sneed's on the back end being sticky, something that the Lions DBs don't know nothing about. It's gonna be, and it's simple. By the way, Jordan Lewis, come on down. We saw that Michael Parsons out there letting Jordan Love talk crazy on your name. You know who wouldn't let him do that? Aiden Hutchinson. He wouldn't let Aleem McNeil. He went to NC State. I know the brother. He's a good man. He wouldn't let. I'm just saying, JD. I just want to put that out there. But proceed.
I just think that when you have a situation where the Las Vegas Raiders are petitioning for Jimmy Garoppolo to not be the starting quarterback, they're so down bad. They want Derek Carr back. Derek Carr back. Can we just get Derek Carr back? Like,
People
we don't
thought
want
that
none
folks
of
went down there for Mardi Gras. They are not in Vegas. I mean, they are not in Louisiana for Mardi Gras. They are begging for Derek Carr back. They standing outside the studio with the boombox. Derek, come back. Oh, no. You can blame it all on me. But folks. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. Finish up.
No, I was gonna say that's the whole thing, right? Purdy, you can't game manage Andy Reid and the Chiefs. You just can't game manage. Like Pacheco gonna get you 6 yards to carry. That's big. That's huge in the Super Bowl. And guess what? That boy Kelsey. Yeah. You think you know what I hate though? Because Kelsey is that complexion and James Harden is that complexion, right? Kelsey be in the club just as much as James Harden. You think Kelsey gonna pass up an opportunity to go party after the Super Bowl in Vegas? Y'all think James Harden got it back?
I want to be that guy, but I think the ridicule comes from the fact that Travis Kelce got 2 rings or 3.
I want to say
It's 2. He got 2. He got 2.
But the difference is the rings. But even still, football is the ultimate team sport, bro. Like, you really can't put that like, oh, Travis Kelce is the reason. Like, don't get me wrong, Travis Kelce is a big part of the reason. I love me some Travis Kelce. You know, he invented the fade. Just in case y'all didn't know.
Oh, shut up, boy.
Before Travis Kelce, you either walked in and got the baldy, or like you just was out here wolfing it, I guess. But anyway,
walking out the barbershop looking like Tyrese is insane.
hey, that sweet lady, would you be mine? Before Travis Kelce came along, that's how he was on.
Put some Don Julio and put that on. No, never mind.
Hey, listen,
Never mind.
just looking crazy. But I wouldn't say that, it's fair to say like, oh, Harden ain't one of the he had, but I do get you. I do get you there. But that's a great way to get us over to the hardwood, Chris. That's why I appreciate you. That's why, right now the co-host power rankings, Josh, you fall behind, brother. You fall behind.
Sorry.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do. No, but seriously, in terms of the basketball court, we saw some action going with the trade market. We saw some folks get their walking papers. We saw plenty of interesting things happen with this trade deadline, folks. Which ones have caught y'all attention the most?
If I'm being honest, it's a lot of teams that needed to shake things up. It's a lot of teams that needed to make moves in order to put them in contention for this trade deadline. And I think the only team that made some effort to put them on that next level, I'm not saying they're a championship team, but that would be the Knicks.
Really?
I think the Knicks is the only team that made a vast improvement to their team. Okay. I mean, you had some other things out there. Like, I think Pat Bev was a good pickup for the Bucks just because Pat Bev is a pest. I'm not going to call him a great on-ball defender. I think he's barked so much over the years that he has tricked the population into thinking he's an elite defender when he's not. But he's a pest, he's an irritant, and the Bucks have been struggling with perimeter defense all season. The Pistons getting rid of Killian Hayes, which I don't know how he lasted that long. That man is the worst basketball player I'd ever seen in my life. And in case you didn't know, they waived Killian Hayes and won 2 straight. You can see a renewed energy on the team.
And you know who else? You know who else they got rid of recently? Isaiah Livers. Didn't I tell y'all? He's a shooting specialist. He's a 3-and-D guy that ain't got. I've seen lesbian couples with more D, and he could not hit the side of a Walmart from the parking lot.
So I think the Knicks is the only team that pushed them to that next level. Because I think when you think of these conferences, you think of teams that's championship contenders. You think of teams that's playoff, perennial playoff teams. Like that would be a Knicks, a team that always finish 4 or 5, but they aren't winning a ring. And then you got those teams that's on the cusp, and you got those teams that's just at the bottom of the standings. The Knicks were right in that category where they will finish 4 or 5, but they don't have the talent to get to that next level. And I'm not saying that they have that now, but one thing that they struggled with was being able to space the floor. Jalen Brunson can shoot, but at the same time, he's not a guy where you're like, yeah, he's a guaranteed knockdown shooter. Julius Randle is shooting 1,000 threes a game and hitting 2 of them.
I was about to get that man to the paint.
And Anunoby plays this role really well. He's a 3-and-D guy, but his defense is more special than his 3-ball. So they went out there and got them 2 veterans that are able to knock down a 3. And they got a lot of depth. If you look at the teams that's championship contenders, if you're looking at Denver, their rotation when they come to the playoffs, they got 7, 8 reliable guys that they could put out there on the floor. The Celtics got 7, 8 reliable guys that you could put out there on the floor. The Knicks, if you were looking at their roster outside of Brunson, Randall, Josh Hart, and Anunoby, it was not a lot of guys out there that you could put out there in a playoff series and they could play their role. But you just added 2 more pieces that, of course, they aren't going to move the needle in terms of their world beaters as far as their skill set goes. But they both can play defense. They both can shoot the ball, and they can add some depth. When you need Brunson to get a rest, you can put Alec Burks out there for 6 minutes, and he won't throw the game away. You know, if Anunoby or Josh Hart need some rest, you can put Bogdanovich out there, and he can get hot. So I think the Knicks are the only team that made a big splash, and I was expecting something from Golden State, and I was expecting something from the Lakers, and they did absolutely nothing to hit the next level.
You're saying Spencer Dinwiddie ain't special? You're agreeing with Kyle Kuzma? That
Spencer Dinwiddie shoot 30% this year.
Yeesh. Well, the brother's a scholar, so, you know, there's that. Chris, tell me, anything that you saw at this trade deadline that intrigued you?
So I hate to say this and I hate doing this, but I agree with Josh. The Knicks was big splash, but only because I don't think Joel Embiid will be back this season. I just don't think he will be back. If Joel Embiid was back, I think Philly made tremendous gain in depth this season, right? And do we got all of it pulled up? They made a couple moves. Let me pull it up now.
They went and got Buddy Hield.
They got Buddy Hield, right?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing because now you can have a lineup with Maxey, Buddy Hield, Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre, and Joel Embiid, right? That's a solid lineup. If you told me that was my lineup to close the game out, Embiid has nothing but space around him, and Maxey gonna bring the ball up and penetrate and can kick, and Embiid could get the ball down low and kick it out to a shooter. You can't double him anymore. Ain't nobody guarding Embiid one-on-one, right? But I don't think Embiid will be back. If it wasn't for Embiid going down for the season, I would say Philly made the best strides, right? And they got rid of Doc Rivers, so they living it up. But anyway, the Knicks. Here's the thing about the Knicks, right? I hate to say this because, you know, I was kind of supporting the Dallas move when they let Brunson go. I think they should let him walk for free, but I was like, Brunson, he's just too little. He wasn't going to be a superstar. I think the Knicks have a perennial superstar on their hands, right? Now, he peaked late, so I don't know how long this is going to last because I think he's like 28, 29, right? Because he was in Nova when we was in high school, I think.
Yeah.
Just a little bit after, but he played all 4 years in college.
He was in college for a minute.
Right. So he peaked late. So I don't know how long he'll be a pretty all-star. But you add defenders around him. You got Thibodeau, who's a defensive-minded head coach. As long as Thib don't run them knees to the ground, the Knicks can squeak their way to a conference finals. The Knicks, hear me out. If the Knicks don't see the Bucks or the Celtics, who beat them in the East?
Yeah.
It's true.
You know, I'm surprised that you didn't go with your Heat because I think the addition of Terry Rozier.
I was gonna go there, but the Heat this year they've been up and down injury prone. Bam been out, then Jimmy been out, then Bam. So I think last year what helped them is they glued at the right time. They had like 3 months at the end of the regular season where they glued together. They look at the play-in, right? They was a play-in team.
Yeah, and that's what veteran teams do. They tread water, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh wait, the All-Star break here. All right, guys, lean forward, start playing for real, and that's what they do. So I'd probably say, and everybody gonna say, oh, it's because this is your hometown team, but the Pistons got so much better in such a short time. They got so much better.
Let's not do this, man.
And to hear the horny man,
come on, bro, I don't want to hear about this.
The horny
shit,
man Dan is still in the NBA. That's hilarious. Do you know how crazy it is to get waived by the Pistons in the year of our Lord and Savior 2024? That is so crazy. Daniel House just got waived by the Pistons. He was traded to the Pistons and then waived immediately. Oh, that's gross. That's just terrible.
I felt like the bubble ruined his career. I ain't gonna lie.
He ruined his own career.
He ruined his career.
He ruined his career. What was you doing, brother? Like, the rules were simple. And the crazy part is, you was doing all that while you had a wife. Brother, why?
Oh, he was married?
Yeah, he was married.
That's why I said
I didn't know that.
because he was isolated. You know, when you newly married and you isolated, I don't think a lot of brothers could pass that test. I don't know. I ain't never been married before though.
You got free will, man. It ain't that tough.
I'm not gonna say what I want to say. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. Instead, we will be moving right along because there is so much to say about what's going on in the sports world right now. Now, fellas, let me ask you this. One of the big trades that didn't happen, DeJounte Murray to the Lakers. Everybody thought it was happening. Everybody talked about, it's in the books. It's almost over. They're hustling over the last few little pieces, and it didn't happen. Do you think that move hurts? Do you think not moving for DeJounte hurts the Lakers, helped the Lakers? Was it just deadline D'Lo out there, or is that what we're going to see from D'Lo going forward? Talk to me.
Okay, so I got a few questions regarding DeJounte Murray. One, what makes DeJounte Murray a all-star level basketball player?
His defense.
Defense, he's a great perimeter defender, and he's also a good scorer. But what does he do well when he's scoring?
To me, he's a jack of all trades guy. He doesn't do anything great, but I think he does everything like good. I think he does. You know,
I think he's a 3-level scorer. He's a 3-level scorer for sure.
Yeah. If I was DeJounte Murray, I would wait the season out in Atlanta. I would be kind of glad I didn't go to the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Because one, he's going to have to guard the best perimeter player on the other team night in and night out. He's going to be the best defender that they have. It's either going to be him or Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt is kind of unplayable offensively.
I will say this. Trae Young's defense picked up to a level to where, like, he can not be that guy every night out in Atlanta. That's surprising, by the way. Trae Young being that good defensively is legitimately shocking. Like, yes, he still has his limitations because he's short, but his effort and intensity defensively have been insane this season.
Agreed. But we can all agree the amount of effort that you're exerting on the defensive end is going to take away from your offensive game.
Of course, yeah.
And then when you get on the other side on offense, DeJounte Murray, we see it somewhat in Atlanta. They run that 2-guard combo, but you need the ball in DeJounte Murray needs the ball in his hands in order to be effective.
Right.
We've seen it time in and time.
A spot up like, I could live off him, go into the lane, figure something out, and then I'm just out here to knock down the open three.
That's what you're going to be if you go to the Lakers.
Yeah, that's right.
We've seen it time and time again. DeJounte Murray going to the Lakers would be another scapegoat for the reason that the Lakers aren't winning. Another question I have for y'all: Who are some championship contenders?
I would say Milwaukee, Boston in the East, and Miami right behind them with the Knicks.
Okay.
And in the West, I would go the Clippers, the Denver Nuggets. I mean, you can say what you want. They're the best team in the West right now, so you have to put them in the conversation.
All I'm saying is this, Chris. All I'm saying is this. The way people treat the Lions, us Lions fans understand and we get it. People act like the Clippers have no reason to not be taken seriously as a championship contender.
I heard.
We've seen this story play out before. We've seen them be with Chris Paul in Lob City. Were they not 1, 2, 3 in the conference every year? Were they not?
Well, there was 4, 5 some seasons, but it's because the West was stacked.
But either way, people looked at them as a contender, yay or nay. Like in the beginning of Lob City, people were like, "Oh man, you done gave Chris Paul all them dunkers. You done gave him a rim protector. You done gave him a It's the Clippers, man. It's the Clippers. I put them in the same category I put the Lions. Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all got to show me something. I know y'all not hockey guys, but they in the same category as the Arizona Coyotes to me. They in that same, they just got more bread than the Coyotes because the Coyotes had to lock their doors because they couldn't pay all their debts recently. But that's neither here nor there. Proceed, Chris.
Go ahead. So I would say Clippers, Nuggets. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, I was just doing that to prove a point. So if you're looking at the Celtics, you got 2 All-Stars over there.
Right.
If you're looking at Denver, you got 2 All-Stars over there, and these teams got solid role players. These teams got role players that a lot of teams fought for to have on their team. Mm-hmm. What excuses are we still making for the Lakers? They got 2 top 10 players in the league, and they got role players that they went out of their way to go get. What's the issue?
I hate to say it. That bald man, Darvin Ham. Brother, what are you doing over there? How many times have you seen somebody absolutely cooking on the Lakers and then Darvin subs them out for no reason? How
All the
many times
time.
have you seen it?
All the
Like,
time.
bro, let him cook. Let him miss something for. But I digress.
I think that's the biggest thing that the Lakers messed up on is not getting Ty Lue. I think if they got Ty Lue, this would be a whole different conversation.
I mean, you're looking at a team who third and fourth option is D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. That's better than most teams in the NBA, and they still have 2 top 10 players as their first and second option.
Can I take this a step further? And I know Brown wouldn't go for it, but this needed to happen. They needed to have one of those young coaches, one of those guys like Malone with the Jazz. I believe it's Malone with the Jazz, right? Or
Yes, I think that's his name.
They needed a guy like that. They needed a young guy. They needed somebody who hasn't been there or who hasn't already kind of, been around the block and, we just kind of, I'm going to do everything in the way that's like, oh, I'm going to just keep everything rolling steady. They needed a guy who was going to be, I'm not going to say like fiery and get them going and all that, but they needed a guy who was younger and was going to do things in a certain way that's like, hey, LeBron, you're the guy, you're the star, you're the all the things, but at some point in time, I need you to lock it down and I need you to do these things. All my role players, I need y'all to do these things and we can do this in a way that makes sense. I think the guy for the Magic, Jamal Mosley, another one, and I know LeBron wouldn't have went for it, so I'm not saying that this is realistic and like, oh, this could have happened. But that's really what they needed. They needed one of those coaches that was like going to be fiery, going to be, hey, I need things done my way and all that. And it would have been good to see. But in all seriousness, I don't think that this trade helps or hurts the Lakers, or not trading for DeJounte helps or hurts the Lakers all that much if D'Lo remains at this level. Now, if we see his play tail off into something that's mid, the Lakers are going to have some problems. But if he continues to play like this, the Lakers are one of those teams that we just talked about with the Heat. Tread water. Oh, wait, it's the All-Star break. Okay, we need to turn it on now. If we're having this same conversation a month from now, then yeah, this is who they are. They can't.
Nah, bro. I disagree wholeheartedly with both of y'all, bro. Talk to me.
Okay.
Bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 1,000% with y'all. Before they traded for Russell Westbrook, how much better is DeJounte than Russell Westbrook at that point? Before they traded for him. Because he was coming off a season where he was with the Wizards and he was almost averaging a triple-double again.
Yeah.
How much better is DeJounte than him?
But if you're talking fit, if you're talking the fit for that team, DeJounte is a lot better. He's a lot better.
What?
DeJounte need the ball in his hands to operate.
Exactly. He need the ball in his hands like Russell Westbrook does.
The Lakers' biggest problem is not that they don't have enough playmakers. The Lakers' biggest problem is their perimeter defense in terms of on the court. Guards cook the hell out of their guards.
Gibbs. The Lakers' biggest problem is because what? Anthony Davis is still acting like he don't want to play the 5. That's the Lakers' biggest problem.
I mean, that's a problem too. That's
the Lakers' biggest problem.
But to me, in a guard-dominant league, if you cannot play perimeter defense, you are cooked. Remember when we said Atlanta was cooked? Why? Because Trae Young was too small to play perimeter defense, and they didn't have DeJounte Murray yet. Now they don't have a big on the inside.
Okay. Look at the games the Lakers have won. It's the games where AD show effort at the 5 position. Like, even if the guards was getting cooked, AD get 2 blocks a series. 2 blocks a series down court. Okay? So
listen, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing that AD not wanting to play the 5 and playing the 5 at a high level is a problem. I agree. But it's like if you was in a relationship and like, she always leave the lid on the trash up and she's wrecked 5 cars. Like, they're both problems. Like, obviously, yes, you don't want rodents in your trash, but the 5 cars are bigger. That's one of these things is worse than the other here. Like,
I hear you. I just don't think DeJounte moved the needle enough, man. I'll be honest with you. I think he would be similar to what that guy Russell Westbrook won't get the ball in the flow of his game. LeBron's gonna have the ball. AD gonna have the ball. Reeves gonna have the ball. I just don't think that.
Wait, he gets the ball over Reeves. If
Oh, he
you're
definitely does.
putting
He
Josh
definitely
on
does.
that
He
team,
definitely does.
You
He
can't,
definitely does.
You can't give. You
He
can't
does.
let
Russell
Austin
Westbrook
Reeves
did
go.
at one point too. And Russell Westbrook did at one point. For they decided, okay, you gotta go to the bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see what
I
he
feel-
doing for the Clippers now. You see what he doing for the Clippers
I
now.
feel-
He hooping.
So you know what? And here's what we're gonna do, okay? Because we got to have this conversation. We got to have this conversations, okay? I want all of our viewers, all of our subs to chip in on this conversation as well, because I think that Chris is off one. I don't know how Josh feels about this, but Chris, let's have facts over axe court today. The defendants on the case is the Los Angeles Clippers, and the case brought up against them is that they are a fraudulent team. I will admit that I am the plaintiff. I believe that this team is indeed fraud. Our listeners will be the jury, and Josh will act as the judge, because damn it, I'm sick of you talking about those Clippers. I don't care how much they do or when they do it. I'll never believe in the Clippers. So Josh, I'm gonna let you take the reins. Since this is your court, I'm gonna let you take the reins, and I'm gonna let Chris give his opening statement. I'm gonna let Chris give his opening, because I've had enough of talking about these Clippers. But proceed, the honorable Josh Guyton. Proceed.
This is the case of the Clippers versus the people. The Clippers have been mid-pack regardless of roster for our entire lives. But Chris is a firm believer that the Clippers, who are 23-6 since December 1st, is a team that is a championship contender. Chris, go ahead and make your case.
All right. So here's my thing, right? What's different about this Clippers team is the question I ask myself, right? And yes, I have my doubts because the Clippers gonna clip. We done had podcast episodes where we sat there and clowned the Clippers, like literally clowned the Clippers. But here's what's different, right? Here's what's different. Ty Lue is a proven coach, right? We ain't heard about load management one time this season from Kawhi Leonard. We ain't heard about it one time. That is a good thing because we know he's shut up. He playing basketball. He going out there showing out every day. To me, he should be top 3 in MVP voting right now. But because he's been quiet and he's always been the quiet guy, he's not going to be. James Harden doesn't have to be your 1. Don't have to be your 2. Don't even have to be your 3 most nights, scoring wise. So now you're officially making him a roll the ball out, make some plays for us. Your options off the bench. Norman Powell, a proven scorer. Russell Westbrook, a proven playmaker and rebounder. His scoring has tailed off, but against the second unit, he's been marvelous in this run they've been on. And the last point I got to make is Zubac. He doesn't have to be a dominant big. What made Golden State good from 2014 till now, the Clippers are executing on that. They got Amir Coffey in there right now, and Kawhi Leonard playing the 5. And they forcing teams to run a small lineup against the Nuggets. What Joker gonna look like guarding Kawhi Leonard? Yes, you could say you put Kawhi Leonard on Joker on the other end, but they sending traps, doubles, all kind of things. So you relying on people around Joker to make plays. The other thing is, as well, Kawhi Leonard playing a 5, everybody on the court can bring the ball up and push. They've been playing fast-paced offense, and I think that's been a lost style in the NBA over the last 2 seasons. So I think they have the advantage there. Now, are they going to stay healthy? That's to be determined. But I think you got to put them in the conversation. You got to put them in the conversation.
Gibbs.
Your Honor, I would just like to say thank you so very much for hearing this case on such short notice. Okay?
Of course, of course.
I know you got more important things to do with your time. And here we are wasting it on the Clippers. Your Honor, may I ask you a personal question if it doesn't pierce too deeply? If I may approach the bench.
Go right ahead.
You were married in a past life, correct?
Unfortunately.
Did you get a ring out of that marriage?
I did.
So you had more rings than the Los Angeles, San Diego,
Buffalo.
What other city were they? Buffalo Clippers of all time?
Yes.
Even when we go to their inception, right? Because when you talk about the Lions, at least the when the NFL was not with the AFL, when those were 2 separate leagues, last time I checked, the Lions had a couple championships. Am I correct?
Yeah, 8, I believe.
Okay. Now, Your Honor, May and this is something that I want to ask to the defense because I don't understand this and I just genuinely don't get it. We all went to Cass Tech, correct? We are all aware of Vicky Green's existence, correct?
Yep.
Miss Green, English teacher. One of her best quotes that she told me was, "The best predictor of future behaviors is the past." Okay? And this is a team that we've seen be the 1 seed before, be the 2 seed before, be the 3 seed before, be the contender before, be the favorite before, go into the season with the odds on them before. Have we not?
We have.
Yeah.
And did they not? Did the defendants not fizzle out like Fago every time?
They have.
So I sit here thinking to myself, if Vinny Del Negro ain't the guy, if Doc Rivers ain't the guy, if Ty Lue through 4 years ain't the guy, what's different this year? Oh, the roster's constructed better. All the things are done so much better with this team. I don't care what you say. This team could have whatever star they want, regardless of how washed up. They could, Dominique Wilkins averaged 20 points a game for the Clippers way back when, for those of you who don't know.
You did, yeah, post Achilles.
And that team was still mid. I say that to say, you will always find the Clippers somewhere trying to convince somebody that they are a legitimate sporting franchise every time. But when the playoffs come, they'll look funny in the light like they always do. The Clippers, to me, are the 300C of championship contending teams. The Maybachs are the actual championship contenders, and they look like the Maybach until the Maybach actually pulls up, and then all of a sudden, oh, that's just a 300C. That's what a real Maybach looks like. And, Your Honor, I rest my case. My case is resting peacefully. I believe it there, but I would love for the defense to answer me as to what would be different this year than last year and the year before that when we had Podcast P and Kawhi and all these guys and a 3-1 lead on the young Nuggets who weren't even supposed to be there. And yet somehow they fumbled all that away, but now we believe. I rest my case right there, Your Honor.
Hey, all I'm going to say is, at the end of the day, I'm not saying they're going to win the championship. I'm not saying they're going to be the team to beat. I'm just saying you have to put them in the conversation because of the way they are playing basketball present day. They are playing basketball the best in the NBA. They are clicking on all cylinders, and they have a proven superstar leading the charge in Kawhi Leonard. 2-time Finals MVP, might I add. 2-time Finals MVP for 2 different franchises. The brother got a championship for Toronto, for crying out loud. For Toronto. Josh at one point had more rings than Toronto's existence. Ever. Ever.
But Toronto only existed since what? 97, 96?
And the brother got him a ring. Ain't no superstar in the NBA going to go to the Raptors. Not one. Vince Carter got out of there so fast. Chris Bosh got out of there so fast. T-Mac didn't even last out his rookie deal out of there.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But Kawhi Leonard is best. There are certain folks that you could just put them in the kitchen with the ingredients and they'll make the meal perfectly for you. There's chefs like that you could just, hey, listen, we got thyme, we got parsley, we got oregano, we got Italian seasoning, we got some lamb chops, we got some honey, we got some onions over here. Don't worry about it, I got you. But throw me some red potato. Give me some red potatoes from the store. I'll make you the best meal you ever seen. You got those guys, and then you got the chef that everything needs to be in a box with directions on it, how to do it. That's Kawhi. Everything needs to be in that area, and I don't think he has that right now. And here's the thing. I know on paper, this is better than the Spurs. This is better, way better than the Raptors. But even with the Raptors, it took the right stroke of luck, the right Achilles tearing at the right moment, the right everything going in the Raptors' way. That shot against the 76ers, if that thing don't fall, we're looking at an entire... Think about this. Joel Embiid may be a NBA champion right now. The conversation around him exponentially different.
I don't think so.
Really?
The Sixers getting swept. The Warriors not even getting opportunity to get injured. The Sixers is gonna get swept.
Wait, when
Warriors got injured in game 2.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm pretty sure.
Got injured game. KD went
KD
down game
got
2.
injured in game 2.
Right.
Oh, you said that even without KD, they would have beat the Sixers.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think so. Yeah,
That's back when Ben Simmons had his powers from the
There was
Monstars.
one possession away from taking the Raptors to 7.
Listen, I
agree with you, but that's when Ben Simmons had his powers.
Yeah, Judge, reclaiming my time. We're getting off track here. The reality is, I will never believe in the Clippers. I have never believed in the Clippers. Let me tell you something right now, okay? I'm bald. Does it look like I believe in Clippers? I'm not going with those boys. I don't care if they're the Inglewood Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the San Diego Buffalo. I don't care where they are. This team will never be believed in by me. They will only be believed in by me when they're hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. That's when I'll believe in those bums. Until then, until that very moment, I refuse to buy in. I refuse. There's a young man on TikTok right now that has a parlay ban list. Well, for me, I've got a championship contender ban list. And guess who's number one? Guess who's the number one suspect on there, Chris? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. It's Steve Ballmer's Los Angeles Clippers. And on that, I'm going to let it cook.
Before we proceed with the hearing, did y'all see my man that put the parlay in on Wembanyama?
No, what was the parlay on Wembanyama?
He took the over on 5 rebounds. Keep in mind, Wemby is averaging 11. Wemby had 2 rebounds last night.
How long was the parlay? How many legs were in it?
Like 7. And that's the only
all
one that
of the
didn't hit. Yeah. Except Wemby 5 boards.
He better than my homeboy. My homeboy be like, "Jump, you big piece of shit." That's what he be screaming at the TV. Dog.
Let me tell you something. If I put in a crazy life changer parlay, like put $2 in, get 10 bands back type, like, oh, this is a 16, 15 leg parlay, and everything hit but one thing. You got to see me after the game. I don't care if I'm broke. I'm flying.
But they say that's what's messing up the game, though. They say that the stars getting tired of getting added on social media and all that. They say that's messing up the game.
I work at a warehouse, brother. I put up that bread with everything I had on you.
Here's my thing, though. I know with social media, fans could get a little out of hand. And, you know, they might say things to these athletes, but that they wouldn't really say in person. But when we talking about you blew my parlay, they are getting upset at us because we asked them to do their job.
Man, listen, I'm going to say this.
Man, Malik Monk talk about, I don't care if I blew your parlay. You can get 11 points.
And I was just about to say, you shouldn't care about blowing the parlay. It's about the you didn't do your job. Like when people bet an under on you and you go over, yeah, you should feel good about that. Like, I don't care about your parlay. If somebody bet on you to get 4 points and y'all lost by 6 and you did not score, brother, you should be embarrassed.
Hey, no, the funniest one, Landry Shamet talking about, I don't care about your parlays. We only bet under on you, big fella. We only bet under on you.
We are strictly betting the unders, Mr. Sham God. We are only betting the unders because that's, you know, again, I'll tell you what. You want to know the quickest way to ruin the parlay? You got one of the greatest future parlays of all time. You want to know how to ruin it? Put the Clippers down as your NBA champion. All right, folks. We know y'all have had enough of us. Giving y'all advice on who's the asshole. Taking y'all to court with the Clippers and talking about Super Bowl Sunday. But come on back to next week and the week after that and the week after that. And before we go, one quick thing. Remember, we're the podcast of the people. We're trying to get the people paid. So make sure that you give your situations make sure you're subscribed first on either Twitch or we'll give you another way to subscribe, and make sure that you give us your suggestions or situations you need advice on. We're gonna take care of you because, again, facts over actions, your favorite hour of the week, and the podcast of the people. Peace and love, y'all.